Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel. Today we'll be looking at the Austin A40. Welcome back, and as this is going out on December the 23rd, I should also say a Merry Christmas to all those who celebrate Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and even if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you're having a lovely time anyway. If you don't like Christmas, what better to do than spend it watching car videos on YouTube? This particular channel celebrates car brochures in all their forms, so I hope you enjoy that, and if you do, please do subscribe. Today's episode, the Austin A40 Farina, first launched at the London Motor Show in 1958. It was there to or supposedly replace the Austin A35. The brochure we're looking at today is for the Mark I version of the Austin A40 Farina. It ran all the way from 58 to 61. The Mark II took over from 61 to 67. It was the first Austin A40 to use a different name other than a county in England. So Farina was used due to Pininfarina, but we'll have a look and talk about that in a moment. We're waffling a little bit. Let's have a look at this brochure. And you can see it's the launch brochure in 58 straight away by it saying brand new, sorry, it's brand sparkling new, the big Austin A40. Unusual to use the word big on such a small car, but there we go. This is car brochures after all. This is the A40 Farina, named so, reflecting this all new design by the Italian Battista Farina of Pininfarina Touring Studio. So it's a Pininfarina design car, so that's why it got the name Farina. At this time, Austin had been merged by the British Motoring Corporation, BMC, in 52. So we'll see at the end of this brochure, it will have that sort of BMC little badge at the end of this particular brochure. Like I say, this was a move away from Austin A40's, always been named after counties of England. This was the Farina, and also this was also the last of the A40 line. You can see this is the Mark I version. Easiest way to see on a picture like this is the grille. You've got these wavy lines on the grille of the Mark I. The Mark II just had sort of straight horizontal lines on the grille. Typical 50s brochure, this one. All drawings in it rather than seeing pictures of actual cars. That was quite normal for the time. Also, one thing very normal for the time is the way this opens up. It doesn't open up like a conventional book. It opens up more like a poster design. So we'll open it up and see what we can see. We should also, I guess, have a quick look at that dealer stamp. A little bit smudged, so hard to see. Something Pool Motors Limited. It looks like maybe 3 or 512 Agberth Road, Liverpool. So that's where that brochure originally came from. So we'll open it up straight away, and we can see we open up and it'll be the wrong way around because there's the back page on top. So we'll open up and have a look on the inside. Very plain interior, you know, it was a kind of like a budget conscious car, but still very 50s, and I particularly like the 50s sort of designs, and this is a very nice red interior. Furthermore, it will then open up into this like poster design, if we can get that the right way around, and we get our first sort of proper look, if I can get all this into the screen, of this little car. And quite a cute little car it was. Kind of like looks like it will be a hatchback, but of course this is before the days of hatchbacks. This is just still what we would refer to as a a saloon, really. It does have just a boot at the back we can open up, which we'll have a look at. There was also the Countryman. This comes before the Countryman. The Countryman came out in '59, and that was classed as more as an estate. But we'll go through why that was slightly different in a moment. We'll go through some of these little text and diagrams on this page. Hard to get it all in one page, so we'll take little clippets of this particular page and we'll get little interesting details of this A40 Farina. So at the bottom here it starts off by saying exciting to drive, brilliant in appearance and performance and style by Farina of Italy. This new Austin A40 is a most attractive investment and starts a new trend in motoring fashion. Initially low in cost, it is easy and cheap to maintain, but nevertheless built to the same stringent standards that one expects from Austin. You will be thrilled with its handling qualities. Visibility all round is excellent. There is no difficulty in manoeuvring this car, however restricted the space may be. Step inside and see just how big the interior really is, how comfortable and relaxing the ingenious design has made it. And on the road, note also the quietness of the ride, the absence of dust and draft, for the body of this car has been extensively sealed and insulated against road noise. You cannot lock yourself out of the A40. Both doors and windows can be locked from the inside and outside, but the design is such that the doors cannot be slam locked from outside. Whether your choice of colours and interior trim, there is certain to be pleasing combinations to suit your taste, for the range is wide, being carefully matched and selected by colour experts. Now, one thing it is mentioning there, the windows can be looked from the inside and outside. That's because it didn't have a conventional wind down window. It was just quite simply a window that you kind of pushed up or pushed down with your hand, and then you could lock it so nobody could break into it. So that's a very clever little idea, really. Not as much to go wrong for sure, but also a very much cost-saving little idea there from Austin. As we go down, we do get a little first look of the engine, and this is going to be a 945cc engine. Oh no, a 948cc engine is what it will be, and that's an A series straight 4. That would have been used in other Austins as well, including that A35. So it says here is a unit that has already proved itself capable of hard work and sparkling performance. The BMC 4-cylinder A-series engine develops 34 brake horsepower. So one of the differences with the Mark II is they did increase that brake horsepower to, I think, 37 brake horse to provide the A40 with a top speed in a little excess of 70 miles per hour, and yet driven at a normal 30 to 40 miles per hour cruising speed, it is still possible to better 50 miles per gallon. A 4-speed gearbox with the lower ranges planned to give brisk acceleration enables you to overtake and with safety and confidence. The change speed lever is short. The change speed lever, that's an unusual way to describe the gear lever. Set well back for easy and positive manipulation. Now this would have been a floor change rather than a column change. Talks about the dashboard, or what it calls here the cleanly styled fascia. All you need to know, containing one single instrument unit placed immediately in front of you. Warning lights, speedometer and fuel gauge are easily read through the 2-spoke steering wheel, and the rest of the hand and pendant foot controls are comfortably positioned within easy reach. The fascia top is trimmed to reduce screen reflections, and an ashtray is centrally placed for the use of the front occupants. There is a closed glove compartment on the passenger side of the fascia, and a full width parcel shelf runs beneath. And we can have a little bit of a look at that very basic, very plain, but quite a beautiful little dashboard. Like I said, very simple, large steering wheel there. And you can see that the accelerator is a very spindly little arrangement on there. At the bottom, it's talking about the boot. Yeah, there's a few rips, a few marks on this brochure, but let's forget it is quite an old one. And with these brochures that fold out, they always seem to suffer wear more than a normal brochure. Take what you please luggage boot. Large by any standards, the luggage compartment behind the rear seats will hold a considerable amount of luggage for 4 adults. With only 2 occupants, luggage space can be considerably increased by folding the squab forward. So, folding rear seats, they're really nothing new. The spur wheel is retained on the floor of the boot, which is lined with a rubber mat. And then we can kind of have a look at this boot arrangement. As you can see, it's like a mini, it's kind of like a drop down boot, and you can see why this is more of a saloon, but we'll just pull that back a bit to show the window as well. There we go. And this is the difference that the next year the Countryman came out, and you can see this window, they kind of made the window a little bit smaller on the Countryman, which created like a frame so you could lift the window up as well. So you had the bottom folding down, the window going up, which kind of like made a smaller state. But like I said, this brochure predates this. This is just the very basic A40 Farina with the opening boot. Right at the top right hand side of this page, it shows the leading dimensions. I'm not going to go through all this, but A, B, C, D, E, F, G refers to this tiny little picture at the top here, showing which A, B, C, D, E we're referring to. Quite an unusual little thing, really. If we turn it all round the opposite way, we get another glimpse of this interior, which we glimpsed at the start, and then the side here, it gives a little bit of a description, which we'll have a look at as well. So it's saying here, pleasant contemporary styling and really comfortable seating for 4 adults. That is the designer's questionable achievements with the brilliant Austin A40. Both front seats are independently adjustable and tilt forward for easy access to the rear. Here you will find an extremely comfortable, softly cushioned seat which will accommodate 2 people with room to spare. There is also an interesting arrangement whereby the squab of the rear seat folds forward, permitting all the space behind the rear seats to be used for carrying extra luggage. Fitted rubber mats which with felt underlays on the floor and best quality vinyl treated fabrics complete the striking smart trim. The spaciousness of the interior are accentuated by the wide curved windscreen and rear window and the deep side windows. Ample fresh air can be drawn through the swivelling louvers on the door windows and through an intake grille just forward of the windscreen. High above the fumes of preceding traffic. Provision is also made for installing a heater, demister and hinged rear windows at extra costs. And then we've got this sort of like interesting writing on the side where someone, I guess, was looking at actually buying one of these back in the day. So we'll have a quick look at what it's trying to say. So someone scribbled some figures on here. It may well have even been the dealer when you walked into the showroom, but Traveller £734, it looks like, for the deluxe. Something scribbled out. Then we've got a Mini 1000 for £652, an Austin A35 for £583, and this particular car, the Austin A40, which would have been £700. And then right at the bottom here, struggling to make out what that is, possibly a Sprite, maybe £669. So yeah, you could say that detracts from the brochure, but for me it's kind of like an interesting little bit of history there. Somebody actually in the showroom trying to figure out which vehicle they wanted to buy. And then finally here, the specifications. So that engine, an inline 4-cylinder free bearing counterbalance crankshaft. This is 948cc. And then we go down there. It's very detailed, these 50s ones, so you kind of like give you more detail than you really want. I'm not going to go through all this, but if you do want to pause the video to go through some of this information, you certainly can do so. Bit of information about the electrical. It's just a 12-volt system. And some of the information about the bodywork. Also showing the available colours there as well. Farina grey with red or blue or tan trim. Tartan red with black trim. Horizon blue with blue trim. Sutherland green with grey trim. Ocean blue with grey trim. Black with red or blue or grey or tan trim. And then at the bottom there, availability right or left hand steering, which is an unusual thing to put. The above specification covers home and export basic saloons. A deluxe saloon is also available, which includes stainless window surrounds, opening rear windows, bumper overriders and passenger sun visor. Optional extras, basic and deluxe saloons, you could have got a radio, a heater and a demister or fresh air unit. Seems strange saying, optional extras is a heater, but there we go. I'm sure a lot of people would have optioned it to have that nice little heater in there. And at the bottom there, it's showing that Austin Motor Company, and like I promised at the start, that little BMC badge. So there we go, the Austin A40. If you've got any memories of this Austin A40 Farina or others in the Austin 40s from the past, please do jot it down in the comments. I'm sure there'll be some interesting stories out there. And like I said at the start, please do enjoy your Christmas. I know there's a lot of people that find Christmas a very difficult time, so please make sure you stop in for your friends and family to make sure they're doing okay. And if you personally find Christmas a difficult time, click onto YouTube. There's lots of things on YouTube that aren't at all Christmas related. No longer we are at a time where you're forced to watch some Christmas movie, particularly if you're into cars. There's lots of motoring YouTube channels nowadays which are really interesting. Just thinking of a few that I like to watch. Hub Nuts is a great one, probably one of my favourites. And then we've also got other things like iDriver Classic. For the American viewers, I do enjoy watching Vice Grip Garage, and also Furious Driving's another one that I've just found recently, which I'm just getting into. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today. Please do like and subscribe and take care of yourself, and we'll see you very soon. Take care and goodbye.